Okay. Let's use some of our Sunburst Yellow, and let's start over here. So with these little things, what you want to do is you want to make some shapes, like some teardroppy shapes, fold them in together. You see how I'm sort of making those? You can even make one kind of here, and then you're just sort of connecting them. And you can do that the whole way around. If you need to sharpen, go for it. Don't forget to rotate your pencil too to get that nice sharp edge. Like I know whenever I have a lot of pencil, like the core sticking out, I'll just sort of tip my pencil inside and just touch the tip of that just to make it, you know, a little sharper. I won't sharpen the whole pencil. So this will help to get some of these nice tight corners in here. Add a few bits of dark in here. And these aren't always equally spaced, so you can even add a little bit of discrepancies with color in here to make it more natural. They're really thin. We'll come back through, it looks like, with some sand. Tone down these white areas a little bit just to make it more realistic. So this is just, you know, starting out. We're just kind of making this pulp feel in here. For some reason it kind of reminds me of butterfly wings. I don't know why, but they always have those little microscopic like folds in their wings. And that's all we're doing here. We're just keep adding the pulp, just making the shapes. Now I haven't used a gel pen. This would probably be a really good example to show you what a gel pen does if you don't know. I'll do part of it without a gel pen, and then I'll do the other part with it, so you can see if that is an investment that you would like to make. They're pretty cheap. You get quite a few pencils for not a whole lot of money, and they can be useful, especially if you're working with really bright shines. And we'll come back through also and add some deeper values in this. And got one more. Okay, let's take some sand, and I'm going to work a little bit in between here. We had our white in there, but we're going to put just a little bit of sand, and then I'm going to go back through with some cream and maybe some of that sunburst yellow, just to sort of tone it down a little bit, bring them closer together. They're a really fine area, so we don't want it to be like, I really like this area right here, how close this is in this part, but I need just a little bit of that white showing through. I have cream and I'm just sort of working my way out. I'll take your sunburst yellow and very gently, let's add some on the edges of the little pulp pockets. I mean, I don't know the fruit part. Okay. And let's get our warm gray 20. Make it nice and sharp. And let's work a little bit here on the inside of the rind. We're just gonna make some lines, some spots. Sort of working your way around that rind. Even taking some up into the edge where the cut is. And then just work our way around with that. Let's get your canary yellow and then go over top of those areas, especially the pieces that go into the white part. It will help to pull some of that color. In. And then get your white, and then just work on blending those. Okay, so I'm still going to work with my warm gray 20 here. And we're going to work a little bit inside of where these pulp areas are. So I want to add some of this value in here. I'm just adding a feel, and then we can put a little bit inside just to make some of these little pockets here stand out a little bit more, because you're going to come back through with your sunburst yellow, and we're just going to layer over top of it and make it a deeper tone. This is what's going to make it look more realistic. See? And then just layer over top of it again if you see fit. Leave some of them a little not colored. I mean, some of them. I'm going to do it to this one. I'm trying to look to make sure I can see where all these little values are. And then your sunburst yellow. Just blend them out. And all we're doing is adding depth to these little pockets. It really helps, the values, just adding values to all these studies. I mean, you can have a wonderful piece, and if your values are off, it can ruin the whole thing. So I guess when you're working with values, maybe adding little bits at a time, assessing afterward if you need more, and just keep going. You know, if you think you need more. And of course, if you mess up, don't freak out. Try using the tape method. Try layering over. Obviously, you can only do so many layers, especially depending on what type of paper you're working with. The Bristol Smooth is obviously the one that I'm using now, but it only takes so many layers, whereas the Pastel Mat will take tons of layers. I've had the Strathmore Tone Tan, and it's a lot like the Bristol Smooth. It might even take fewer layers, I don't know, but or more layers, but all I know is that don't freak out. I've had many times where I've had to restart something, and sometimes it can be very disheartening when you're going through it. You maybe want to give up, or you just don't feel like you can do it. I've had to even tell clients that they'd have to get me a better picture because I try it and it's just not working with what they gave. So it can be really, really hard, but don't get upset. A lot of times people are out there to help you fix something if you have a problem. We are almost to the end. This is where it gets real tedious, in case you haven't noticed. But I'm drawing in between some of these little areas. Some of them I'm not even drawing on at all with this warm gray 20. And it's really helping to bring that to life. I think I need to work on this a little bit more. This shadow, it's bothering me. I'm sure you've had things like that too if you are working on something and you think you finish an area and then you keep seeing it and you're like, yeah, looks off. Something's not right. No biggie. We'll go back through. We want to make sure that it's the way that we want it to look. Of course, if yours is fine, keep it. If you like it, keep it. This is sunburst yellow. Just going to work through these areas before I move on. And then also grab your canary yellow. Let's go through, brighten these. I'm just going to give some little specks of a brighter yellow. Now the middle is white and then it has like these little holes in here. So we're going to go with some sand and then some lemon yellow, or not lemon yellow, I'm sorry, canary yellow. And then I'm still going to put in some gray. This is the warm gray 20. And we're just going to add a little bit in there. I'm going to keep it like that. So now that I'm staring at this, I'm going to use the warm gray 70. And I'm going to blend this just a little bit darker with that black. Just because it's bugging me a little bit. I think that's better. Just that little bit. So now we are on to, let's do this little spot over here. I am, since there is no yellow in that shadow, I am going to take my tape and I'm going to pull up some of this pigment that I had for the tracing. Now some of you have to be careful too. If you are using the taping method, if you put it on too hard or you've pulled up too much pigment, it can rip your paper. So don't go crazy. All right, let's see. So we're going to start with our warm gray 20, and we're going to start underneath here. We'll do our leaves last. And we're just going to very lightly extend this shadow. I almost forgot. Grab your 70% French gray. There's a little bit of a, we'll just call it a nubbin because I don't know what this part is of the lemon here. I think it's where it touches the tree. We'll do that, and then we will add a little bit of some lime peel on it. And then take your black and let's just make a little line there. And I think that looks great. Sorry, I did miss that. So the warm gray 20 is going on for our shadow. Let's take our French gray 50 like we did on this one, and we are going to just make it a little bit darker, just sorta in this area. I'm not going to extend it out the whole way. And then there's not really any black under there, so we're going to put just a little bit of this warm gray 70 just underneath, very lightly, and then blend it out with your warm gray 20. Alright, so let's see now. We have our leaves. Alright, let me grab all my colors that I think that I will need. I know I'll need that. Okay. So let's start with the leaf that's closest over here, and we will, I think I'm going to base it out in the lime peel. So let's start what's nice about that yellow that I used for the to do the base sketch, you can see it through this. So once you get it down, your lime peel, let's go in with our apple green, and I'm going to start, let's see, there's like a line here, and then basically we're just going to start adding some shape with these shadows. So let's start working our way. This is the middle of your leaf, so that's a lot brighter. So we're just going to work beside that because this area here is like the edge of the leaf and it's a little bit curled. I'm just going to bring it down here. Now, if this were a larger picture. This is like maybe like a 5 or 7 by 7 piece of paper. So if it were a larger piece of paper, I'd probably be a little bit more like in depth with a lot of these shadows, but I don't think we need to be. Okay, and then on the other side of that, we're just going to start adding some of these shapes. You see I'm skipping over some of these areas. Try to make those spines and the leaves and create my pattern. And then this area is really dark, so we'll come back in here with some dark green and then get some black on that as well. Let's start with our olive green, and let's just make some adjustments on the sides of these spines. And then we've got some discoloration over here, some deeper greens. Getting my face really close to the paper. I'm working so small. If you see my big nose coming through, I'm sorry. Alright, let's get some dark green. We're going to put it in here. And let's work on the side of this middle spine here. And then let's take our lime green . Make that brighter in the middle. And then let's work on taking away some of that too. So the brush comes in handy when you blow and there's a piece that's stuck on the paper. It's very helpful. Okay, I'm going to follow this leaf down the side here because there is a lighter edge to it, and then there's dark underneath. So let's take our spring green, and I'm just going to follow that edge that I just had there. Maybe add a little bit in here. And then go underneath it where I just drew. And I have the olive green. Just adding some more value in here before I move on. And we're going to need to add some black to that. It's very dark underneath. So here's the black. And it seems to be very dark all the way over here. So I like to have that green down below before I put, you know, or the color that I'm working with, before I start putting the black down, because it just blends nicer and it just looks like it's, you know, coming out from, you know, underneath the lemon, and it's on top of the leaf, and you're going to see some of that green. I just feel like it's better that way. The layering is where it's at with colored pencils. So okay. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of some dark green. I'm just going to add a little bit of some deeper values in here just to give it more character. And then let's use a little spring green on the bottom of the stem of the leaf. Blend a little bit more. Alright, well, there is leaf number 1. Let's move on to the leaf behind, and I'm going to base it again with my lime peel. The leaves look a bit waxy. They're like shiny. Let's add our olive green. I'm going to work my way along the side of the spine of this because it's a lot darker. Oh my. Not able to talk today, I guess. I suppose we're all allowed to have days like that, right? It's a lot darker over here anyway. And we've got our deeper tones. And this goes all the way to the end. And I'm just going to add a little bit in here just to add a little more color, and then use the lime green and blend all of this in. Let's get our dark green. Make it dark under here. Follow the spine. Oops, hit my microphone with my pencil, I'm sorry. And this area under here is also going to be dark, so I have my warm gray 70, and I'm just going to color that little white triangle that's under there. And then we've got some black on the leaf. That's under here. Blend it with your dark green. And then add just a touch more of your lime peel. And we're actually going to outline this other stem so it doesn't get lost. And blend that out just a touch. Use your olive green. Let's work on a few more shapes here. And then blend it out with your lime peel. We want some of that lime peel to show through too, so I'm not seeing like any black or anything in these areas, so okay. Got a lot of dark in this leaf here. So start with your lime peel like we did with the other ones. And I'm actually going to, there's another, this leaf is coming through here and I didn't trace it. Must not have seen it on my black and white. A let's color it in with our lime peel and get our olive green. I'm going to add some shadow to it, and then grab your chartreuse and let's see. Yeah, just add a little bit there. And then use your lime peel. We're going to color in the rest of this leaf. And I try to go with the way that the spines are going. So just like with fur, keep it with the same direction that it naturally wants to go. Because if you start going horizontal everywhere or up and down, like it's not going to look as nice. We are just about done. I'm going to add right in here Warm Gray 70. I'm just going to add a touch of it. And over this way. Oops. And then maybe Warm Gray 20. We're going to pull this out just a touch. Maybe bring it out underneath that leaf. Bring out a little bit under this leaf. And then just a touch under here. And now let's do some, I'm going to do some dark green under here to show the shadow of this one, and it continues over here. It's not quite any lighter over there, so we might as well just, there, take it like that. Let's get our olive green. We're going to blend those together. And then now we're going to work on the spine here. So the spine is much darker on this one. And it sort of buckles inward. And then we have our darker areas. Maybe grab our apple green. Let's add some apple green in here on this top half. And I'm actually going to follow it around to the edge of this side. I'll get my dark green here. I want to make that a little bit more noticeable here with the shape. Okay, let's use our olive green again, and we're just going to continue to add these shapes. We are almost done. this goes all the way to the tip. I've got a pretty bright shine on this corner here. And we'll work our way down. Let's use our lime peel again. Let's blend out some of these areas. Let's grab some dark green. We are almost there. So we just need to add a little bit. It's a little bit dull. It's not as nice as this. So we're going to just add a little bit of this dark green just to give it a more rich flavor. Yeah, flavor. A more rich flavor. A rich color. And we're just going to work our way through these little veins and create this nice rich dark movement in the leaves. And it has, even though it's a shine there, it's a little darker underneath here. And then let's use our lime peel again, just to gently push that dark green around. And then we'll switch to our, I'll show you what the gel pen does. Okay, so this is, where's that? Oops. This is my gel pen. This is an Arteza gel pen. It's 0.6. It's white. It comes in handy. I mean, I'll show you over here. Like it draws very nicely. You can make spots. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. So I'll just show you what it does to the drawing. You can draw on them pretty easily. So, okay, let's start like in here. We'll just put maybe a few specks just to show. And it doesn't look bad when you don't have it. It just adds a little bit more shine. It makes it look wet, juicy, like a lemon would if you cut it. So these are pretty cheap. I got mine off of Amazon. You can even go look at your local art stores. You might not find as big as a pack that I got. I think I got 12 for like fairly cheap, like 10 bucks. I don't know what it would be now with inflation and everything, but they're fairly cheap and they last forever. Like I've even given a couple away because I know I'm not going to use them. So I got all those. We can even put a couple over here just for fun. And then we have a couple shines in our leaves over here, so I can just come down here and put a little bit of shine in here. Let's put a couple up here. Like it is a really nice thing to have if you're interested in that. especially for the paper. If you don't have the pastel mat that allows you to draw bright over dark, this is actually a really cool way to do it instead. But yeah, and that is the lemon. I enjoyed making this one, and I hope that you enjoy making it too. And let me know what you make. We'll see you for the next one.